So how to keep a man on his toes. This video is going to be a little lengthy because I'm going to be as specific as possible because there's layers to this. It's not like a simple 1, 2, 3 and it's done.
How tall are you?
5'10".
What's the minimum height that you would date in a guy?
6'4". I dated a guy who was shorter than me. My first boyfriend, I couldn't do it. Hugging myself, he was a little pocket person. I need the height.
YouTube, what up? It's your man back again with another video. Check this out. Before we get started, I just want to say this. Sometimes as content creators, we scroll through TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, various sites, various places looking for content. Now, sometimes the content may be old, outdated. Sometimes the content is fresh and new. But just take into consideration that as we're trying to relay messages to you and talk about topics, all clips might not be new clips, but they're relevant to the topic at hand. So, with that being said, any clip can be played at any time. You might have seen it before. You might have seen it a year or two ago. You might not have seen it at all. Might be brand new. But that's what we do. We scroll, we find, we talk about, we react, and we give it to you. Plain and simple. So, with that being said, this first clip, manipulation. A woman manipulating a man into getting what she wants. Nothing new, been going on for decades. But she's gonna give it to you how she does it. Pay attention, because this is the type of stuff that men need to listen to so they can put it into their daily lives and move accordingly.
I was going to save this video for tomorrow, but I might as well talk about it. So how to keep a man on his toes. This video is going to be a little lengthy because I'm going to be as specific as possible because there's layers to this. It's not like a simple 1, 2, 3 and it's done. First things first, you have to be confident. If you don't think you're the prize, neither will he.
No, you're not.
You cannot exude confidence if you do not look your best, because you will not feel your best. And if a man picks up that you are even being the most tiniest bit insincere about your confidence, he will never take you seriously. 2, you need to wholeheartedly believe that you deserve everything in this world, which also means that you excuse nothing. If something makes you uncomfortable, you make it known every single time. And if you have to complain about something more than one time, you need to leave.
Are you serious?
It may seem extreme, but you need to teach him to take you seriously.
Maybe this is for people that don't really like the person that they're with, because this is the one thing that we were trying to avoid, just giving up. If you have to repeat something more than once, you just bounce? No. You might have to say it a second time just in case. Now, I don't recommend you have to sit there 3, 4, 5 times saying the same thing over and over, but come on, give a person a break. Sometimes you gotta say it a second time. And you're trying not to just jump ship. See, this is the problem with certain women. They don't get what they want, or they have to feel like they gotta repeat themselves. They automatically wanna jump ship to the next person. Makes no sense. Or just jump out of the relationship in general. That's giving up. That's copping out. That's a bunch of bullshit.
You need him to know that you don't have to stick around. Not that you don't want to stick around, not that you don't like sticking around, because part of this, he has to want to chase you. And this whole thing is not about manipulating a man. You actually have to enjoy being around this person and liking them, or else you're going to be miserable.
So basically what you're saying is you want a dude to be obsessed with you, basically. You want him to be all about you and nothing else. That's manipulation. That is definitely a manipulation tactic, to try to get a guy to be all into you, obsessed with you, so that he thinks that like you're the only thing and you ain't got to stick around because you know you got options, basically. Yeah, pay attention, people. Pay freaking attention.
But he has to know that your love for yourself outweighs your like for him. And this is necessary because when you introduce your standards to him, it will make him take them seriously. And he'll either apply it or he'll be intimidated by it and he will excuse himself naturally. Which basically means like he'll either ghost you or make a big deal about it and show his true colors.
I'm sorry, but who is this kid? This is like young person mentality. Listen, girl, this is a bunch of bullcrap. What you're saying makes no goddamn sense. Either you want the dude to beat it or you don't. Because standards, if they're too high, ain't nobody sticking around for that. And as for showing his true self, what would that be? What would be his true self? A person that basically has self-awareness, that knows that what you're doing is wrong, or better yet, you know what? He has the confidence and the self-confidence and the brains to know, you know what? It's time to bail out because this is not what I'm about.
So getting back into confidence. So when I get a compliment from a man personally, but it does work for other people. I've seen it work for other people. When you get a compliment from a man, you do not tell him thank you. And it's not that you're not grateful. There's just a more meaningful way to show this. Why are you thanking someone for telling you that you're beautiful? You know that you're beautiful. You know that you're worth it. You know that your value is out of this world. You don't have to thank someone for telling you that. That's not something that you needed because you already know that.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
No, what you're going to do is you're going to say, that's really sweet of you. And say it sincerely, like you can actually mean it because whatever they said was probably sweet. And you're not lying. Like I said, we're not manipulating.
The hell you say? I mean, you're not manipulating. You're not respecting either. And you're not being nice. And you're not being cool about it. Doesn't matter if you see, no. You are putting out bad information. Anyone tells you something and gives you a compliment about you, you're supposed to be thankful about it and at least acknowledge it. If you're not going to acknowledge it, there's something wrong with you. That's a you problem. That's a manipulation. What do you mean? Someone tells you look nice today, you're just going to be, oh, that's sweet? The fuck is that? What is that? That's not what somebody wants to hear. Because if it was the other way around, y'all be up in your feelings. You're not going to say thank you. You're not going to say something. You're not going to acknowledge it. Anyone saying nice things to you or doing something nice for you should be acknowledged. Don't give a hell about that. That's more like conceit when you look at it that way. Oh, because you know you're beautiful. So what? Someone's telling you that. Acknowledge it. Be nice about it. Be humble. This is not the way you're supposed to rock in a relationship. All the stuff that she's saying is manipulation, and however she wants to slice it or not. It's manipulation. The average person takes a compliment and says something back. You don't ignore it. You don't act like it never happened. You don't use alternate words because you don't want to, lean into something, because all you're doing is causing problems for yourself. You've seen it work for somebody else, but you're applying it to you. Because it worked for them doesn't mean it's going to work for you. Be wary of that. Be wary of that.
And right after that, do not let that moment marinate. Avert your attention to something else. You don't want to let that moment marinate simply because if you let the moment marinate, it's just going to give the idea that you don't get compliments often, or that that's just such a big deal to you. Then this is just going to make him think, okay, well, she's satisfied with me just giving her compliments all the time. No, you want him to feel like, okay, what I did was just good, but I want to feel great. I need to do something bigger so that I can achieve getting that thank you. And speaking of averting your attention to something else, you need to be busy. Your every minute, every waking day does not need to revolve around this man. Yes, you want to make him feel that, he's being cared for and attended to, as all women do. But like I said, be intentional. A person can only hear, I miss you, I miss you, I love you so much until it doesn't feel sincere.
Listen, I don't know about y'all, but my woman could tell me she loved me every day, all day, whenever she wants, and I'm gonna think it's sincere every single damn time. There's no fucking way on this earth that she's gonna overdo those damn words. I'm sorry. It's sincere every time I hear it. It's gonna be sincere every time, if even I say it, it's gonna be sincere. There's no goddamn way on this earth that those words are gonna be played out to me. Ain't no goddamn way. You know, some people need to just pull the plug on their mic and just go read a story or something.
You want every word that comes out of your mouth to be anticipated by him. You literally want him like this every time you speak. You want him to hope that you're about to say that you love him or you miss him. You don't want him to be used to it. Complacency kills romance. And lastly, because there's so many layers to this, so this is just going to be part one. It depends on how extreme you would like to take things. I have a quick story time. So I had a friend and she went on a date with her boo. And it was really one of those dates to try to revitalize their relationship because there was just a struggle. Long story short, she literally got our guy best friends to walk up to their table and look at her and say, "You are gorgeous." And then look at him and just look at him up and down and walk off.
It's gone too far now, man.
You think that man didn't step up his game? Sometimes, if need be, he has to physically see that there is competition. But hopefully this helps. I will do a part 2 if y'all need a part 2. Yeah.
Listen, nobody needs a part 2 to this bullshit. Nobody. We don't care. You know what? Even more so. You know what? She could do a part 2. If I happen to see it, I'm gonna snatch onto that shit. Because this whole thing was basically manipulation, but she's trying to act like it wasn't. You try to use different words and vernacular to make it seem like you're still doing the same thing, but you're really not. We can see right through that. Now that might work on these soft dudes, but the average man is not falling for this shit. This is garbage. This is content just to be, you know, and people are gonna buy into this. They're gonna try it, of course. And most of them are gonna fail. They're gonna fail. Long are the days where men are sitting there falling for stuff like this. This shouldn't even be content. But of course, women have to have something to talk about because they'll get on here and say a whole bunch of stuff that means absolutely nothing and won't help your life in the least bit. But women, not all of y'all, but a lot of women will have that high mentality. They'll latch on to stuff like this and add it to their everyday life and then wonder why their ass is still single.
How tall are you?
5'9".
All right, what's the minimum height that you would date in a guy?
I love like 6'3" and up. Because I'm tall. Like,
Okay.
I want to wear heels and be
Okay.
taller than you.
How tall are you?
5'3",
What's the minimum height that you would date in a guy?
6 foot. Because I want no short.
How tall are you?
5'10",
What's the minimum height that you would date in a guy?
6'4". I dated a guy who was shorter than me. My first boyfriend, I couldn't do it. Hugging myself, he was a little pocket person. I need the height.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'6".
All right, what's the minimum height you would date in a guy?
Has to be 6 foot or over.
How tall are you?
4'11".
All right, what's the minimum height you would date?
The minimum height I would date is probably about like 6'1", 6'2".
How tall are you?
5'5".
All right, what's the minimum height that you would date in a guy?
6 foot.
All right, why say that?
Because my brother is 14 and he's 6'3".
How tall are you?
5'11".
What's the minimum height that you would date?
Probably 6 foot. Don't want to look down.
How tall are you?
I'm currently 5'7".
What's the minimum height that you would date in a guy?
My boyfriend is 6'2", so that is the minimum height that I would go for. I prefer a whole foot up.
How tall are you?
5'6",
All right, what's the minimum height that you would date?
6'2",
All right, why say that?
because my exes are all 6'5".
How tall are you?
5'8",
What's the minimum height that you would date in a guy?
6 foot.
Okay, why you say that?
Because it can't be shorter than me.
How tall are you?
5'4",
What's the minimum height that you would date?
6 foot.
Why you say that?
Because that's just what it's supposed to be at this point.
I don't think women understand what height really means. The main one I had a problem with was the 4'11" chick, talking about dude had to be like 6'2". What? What? Do you understand the math behind that? 4'11" and 5'11" is a foot, right? You talking 6'2". You add an extra. Girl, your neck, your back, you know that song? My neck, my back, that's gonna be you. There's no way that the minimum height you should talk to is way up there. Everyone is taller than you. The average man's height is 5'7". He's towering over you. You are 4'11". A man 5'5" is good for you. What the hell are you talking about? Now, some of these girls, I understand where they're coming from because they're taller, but her, of all people, you are 4'11", you damn near a midget. What the hell are you gonna do with a dude that's 6'2"? As a minimum. A minimum. That's not even the tallest. She'll go higher than that, but the minimum has to be 6'2". Girl. That makes no sense. You can't even make that make sense. Even with heels, you still not rocking. What? Are you... Yo. Women need to understand height. If you are under 5 feet, the average man is good enough for you. I would say between 5'5" to 5'7", you are good money. If you are 5'5", 5'11", 5'10", 5'11", you are good money. Even with heels, you still good money. You 5'9", 5'10", all right, you're gonna need somebody 6 feet or and above. But you 4'11", talking about minimum 6'2", something. That's you can't even make sense of that. Everyone is taller than you. Everyone. Your kids probably be taller than you. Make that make sense, honey. Oh my God. But listen, for the first clip, I just gotta say one more thing for that clip and then I'm out of here. Listen, men always know there's competition, but that's in the beginning. If y'all are a couple, y'all are an item already, the only person he should be competing with is himself. Every day to keep it fresh and make things better and make sure everything's going smooth. He shouldn't be competing with other dudes if you're supposed to be his woman. There should be no more competition. You and him are an item. Would you want to be competing with other chicks on his end if y'all are in a relationship? Hell to the fuck no. There should be no more competition if you are a couple. I mean, maybe early on still, it's still kind of early in the probationary honeymoon phase, probationary period / honeymoon phase. Yeah, but if y'all been a couple for a minute, there's no competition but yourself to make sure you keeping up, making sure everything is smooth, she's happy, you happy, everything's going great. That's it. Men always know there's competition in the beginning before they get the girl. There's always competition no matter what, but once you lock in and you put some time in, there's no more competing with the outside world. There should be no more outside influences in your circle. There should be none, period. So ladies, stop the manipulation tactics because the average dude's not falling for it. And ladies, please understand math when it comes to height. Seriously. Because the 4'11" to the 6'2", listen, just figure it out. Just figure it out. I'm out.
Use your common sense.